Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to turn the tables on my co-host,
Here
Kyle
we go.
Holton.
There we
We're
go.
going to find out some stuff about you.
Oh, boy.
All right, this week you're going to learn about what Kyle Holton's all about. And so I'll start out with one you start out on with
Okay.
me, I think. And that is, where were you born?
I was actually born right here in Columbia, Lexington Medical Center, about
Columbia
15
boy.
minutes from here.
How did you and your wife, Rachel, meet? And was it love at first sight?
So which side of the story do I want to tell? Actually,
She's going to be watching me. Careful.
Rachel and I met when I was a student at Clemson University. I was there for 1 year, but I can still say that I went there. And she actually saw me from across the room before we had ever spoken. And she'll tell you the story. And she said before we had ever spoken,
Yeah.
I'm going to marry that boy right there.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. But then we actually ended up meeting at a devotional that was at her Uncle Skip's house. And we kind of started talking after that. And it pretty quickly became like a romantic relationship. And as they say, the rest is history.
So are you telling me for her it was love at first sight?
It was love at first sight for both of
both
us.
of you, okay.
But she knew it before she even talked to me. I used to have on my sunglasses, I had a retainer on the back, but this retainer had like one of those big, it was a fish bobber. So it was like if you dropped your sunglasses in the water while you were fishing, then they wouldn't. Big yellow thing.
Yeah.
And she used to make fun of that big, honking bobber on the back of my neck. But she's still the one who said, I'm going to marry that boy before she ever even talked to me.
That's pretty cool. I love
pretty
that.
good.
I love
pretty
that.
good.
Well, it looks like it resulted in some kids as well. How many kids you have, and which one is most like you?
Ooh, man. All right. So we have 3 kids, Aslan, Emmy, and Ellery. Aslan is 6. Emmy is 2, almost 3, and Ellery just turned 1 in April. Most like me. Aslan is probably the most like me, and I'll say because he's like my little mini me. If you look at pictures of me when I was his age, identical.
Yeah.
But he and I have similar personalities. Ellery, she's still young enough to where she's got a lot of sass going on.
Yeah.
Emmy is our adopted daughter.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating seeing the mixture of her personalities from her birth parents. And also the personalities that she's kind of picking up from us.
She's a sweetheart.
So that's been a really fun experience. But yeah, probably Aslan. Aslan's probably the most like me.
Cool. All right. Next question.
Okay.
What was the most surprising thing when you started into ministry, when you started full-time? Biggest surprise? Maybe something you didn't know, or maybe it was a misconception about ministry. What's the biggest surprise?
I could go a couple different ways with this. So when I first started full-time ministry, it was 2016. It was the Forsyth Church of Christ in Monroe, Louisiana.
Know the congregation well.
John Dobbs, one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met in my life. Hey, John, hopefully you're watching this.
Yeah.
And I think when I got there, I thought, I don't want to say I thought ministry was going to be easy, but I thought I knew everything that I needed to know, as you do when you're 21 or 22.
Sure.
And I thought going in, like, I got this thing figured out. I'd done some internships. I'd done some apprenticeships. I'd done during the school ministry, summer ministry, all of the stuff. I was like, I got this thing. I knew my style. I knew how I wanted to do it. And very quickly realized, dude, there is so much you don't have a clue about. There's so much you still have to learn. And I am learning that on a regular basis now
Every
that
day. Yeah.
even though I've been in it for 6 or 7 years full time now, and going on 10, including part time work. But like we talked about last week, like there's always this misconception that ministers are that they're on a pedestal, that they're like some kind of special person just because you wear this title. But like, we're real people, and we mess up in our jobs too. We make mistakes too. We run late. We do all kind of stuff. Yeah. And that was one thing from the very beginning that John always he gave a lot of grace, and he gave me a lot of room to grow. He trusted me with a lot more than I thought anybody ever would with a 21-year-old, 22-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were some really formative days for me.
That's
I really
cool. You had a
enjoyed
good
those
church
days.
to begin with. That's really important too.
A really
a lot of
special
guys
spot.
get out of ministry soon because their first church really
That's very
burns
true.
them.
That's very true.
So you had a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. The next question here is, this one you asked me.
Okay.
All right. What's one book other than the Bible that you think everybody should read? Everyone should read.
Okay, I'm going to go back to a book that I actually read every single year. It's entitled "In the Name of Jesus" by Henry Nouwen. And I have gone back. I try to read this book about once a year, kind of early in the year to kind of start my year off. And in it, Henry Nouwen talks about these 3 lies that we're all tempted to believe and the ways that they manifest themselves. And I'm actually teaching a class with our students right now about, it's called Befriending Your Monsters by another book called Befriending Your Monsters by Luke Norsworthy. Everybody should read that one too. But it's about identity. It's about learning who you really are in ministry. And through it, he tells this story about how he learned a whole lot from somebody he never thought he would learn from. So yeah, and it's a nice short book. It's like 75 to 100 pages. It's a really easy read. Anybody could pick it up and read it in a day or two. Just a great book.
If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 luxury items would you most want to have with you? 3 luxury items.
Ooh, luxury. So how do you define luxury?
I don't know. That's something for you to define.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So I'm going to think, when I think luxury, I'm going to say for most people, they're not necessities.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you don't need it for survival. How about that?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say there has to be coffee somewhere in this mix.
I knew that was coming.
What do you think that I'm drinking right now?
Now,
I would call the coffee that I'm drinking today, Loveland coffee. I'm going to call that a luxury item, like this in particular. So if I can have like a lifetime supply, that'd be great. Travis, if we can like work that out, let me know. So coffee's got to be there. Luxury item number 2. Oh geez, this is actually a harder question than I thought it was going to be.
I know it.
Things that I would want to bring with me to a desert island. How long am I on this desert island? Like forever? Like
from now on.
I'm
from
stuck
now on.
there.
You're there, stuck there from now on.
I'm gonna say luxury item. I need exercise equipment. Like I need some weights. I need something to move my body a bit. And I have a feeling that regardless of how long I was stuck on a desert island, I would need to keep physically fit. And yet, most people would probably just be like, I'm gonna climb a tree and run around. I need to do something legitimate.
See, I would just let myself go.
Oh nah, man. This is your opportunity.
There's nobody there. You don't let myself
I'm cool
go.
with that. And then I'm gonna say a luxury item that most people would not have on a desert island: a good bed.
A good bed.
Because I don't want to sleep. I don't want maybe even like a tiny home. Like if we can just transplant a tiny home, if you can call that a luxury item. That has everything that I need in there. See,
an
now
entire home with everything. You
now
need.
it's just an island that I own.
I think you're cheating. Yeah.
Hey, it's my answer to the question. I get to decide how I answer. Look at this.
Here's another one. If you could spend one day doing absolutely anything, a whole day, absolutely anything, what would it be?
So is this like I get to pick one activity for the whole day?
You pick anything you want to do for one day, absolutely anything.
Oh man, my ideal day.
What would you do?
Most people would say they'd sleep in. I would not. I would wake up nice and early in the morning. I would start the day with a walk on the beach. This is something I do every year when we go on vacation. I like to watch the sunrise. So I would definitely be doing that. There's just something about starting the day that way. I would have some nice quiet time to myself in the morning. I'm a pretty introverted person. And if I don't start the day like that, it doesn't typically go well for me throughout the day. So I need that like energy coming in the morning. And then honestly, if I could just spend the entire day hanging out with my kids, with no agenda. I think that's usually one of my biggest issues is like, I have really good intentions. I want to be a good dad. I want to be present for my kids and things like that. But then there's a running to-do list and there's always something else to do. Something's trying to vie for my attention. Something's trying to vie for my energy. Yeah. So if I could just like push all of that to the side for a bit and just say, nope, I'm here with these 3 little ones. I'm here with Rachel. And then just let the day happen. If we eat good food, that'd be great. If we drank some coffee, that'd be really great. But then we just hang out, we watch a movie together, we spend some time. So yeah, that'd be the ideal day on that one.
And those are the days you'll look back on when you're old and remember.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Okay.
If you could rid the world of one evil, what would it be and why?
Golly, there are so many. There are so many things that I want to see disappear. And luckily, like I can spiritualize this for a second. Like I really lean in the hope and the confidence that one day all evil is going to be gotten rid of. But in the here and now, we see it a lot. I think if I could just get rid of all illness, all sickness, all disease, I mean, you know, there's a tendency in me that I want to say, let's get rid of all violence, because violence has never been actually the answer. The peace isn't the absence of violence. It's just, somebody said peace is when both sides are reloading. And I'm like, that's not peace. That's animosity.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I could get rid of cancer, if I could get rid of childhood cancer, if I could get rid of, anything that stands in the way of people flourishing in the way that God intended them to, enjoying their bodies the way God wanted them to, and not having to worry about going to the doctor. I mean, last night we were in class and I had a couple of students like, hey, will you pray for this person? You know, they're dealing with this. Hey, will you pray for this person? They're struggling with this. They've got a family member that's got this problem. And we just prayed and we told God, hey, we long for the day when we don't have to pray for people to not have cancer anymore. Because that's going to be a great day. Yeah. But if I could snap my fingers and make it all happen right now, I'd do it.
I would be for that. I'd be beautiful.
That'd be awesome.
Well, good answers, brother. Love it. Thank you. Thank you
Putting
for
me on the
sharing
hot
some
seat.
of you with us. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I tried to get good ones for you there.
Yeah, there we go.